Peace. Peace, everybody. What's going on this evening? How's the family doing? Let's see. Peace to everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? Appreciate everybody coming through to hang out with me to have this conversation about Elon Musk manifestation. You know, my usual conversation piece. So welcome to my channel. To all the new people who may be here. If this is your first time coming to all the new people who may be here. What is that? Feedback. Got the other devices going. So yeah. So if it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. I go by the name of Minister Jew. Channel is The Imagination Guru. If you're new here, please consider subscribing if the content moves you to do such a thing. Hopefully it does. To all the people who've been a part of my community for years on end, I appreciate everybody. Appreciate you guys coming back to support me and to hear me champion this dialogue as I usually do. Peace to everybody in the chat. Monica, what's good? I see you out there. Gerald, peace to the God. CC, what's going on? Peace. My man TM Brad, peace. He here. Hey man, my fellow Chicago in Lincoln Park. What's good? What's going on? So yeah. So what's the topic of discussion tonight, Drew? The topic of discussion is it's really consciousness. That's always the topic of discussion. But things happen in the news cycle that allow me to elucidate these points that I've been teaching for years to give people further clarity and more insight and more encouragement and more coaching. And I'm always pouring myself out to the people because at the end of the day, I just want to see everybody who's in the range of my voice win. That's really it. I just come here to remind people that the force that we call God is you. It's inside of you. And it's a working computation, to be exact. And so what I enjoy doing, ladies and gentlemen, for the people who may be new here, is to demonstrate and walk people down this road of self-realization so that they can produce the best results in their life possible by conscientiously activating these principles. So, I get real detailed when I get into this thing. I'm not a fly-by-night manifesting guy. Like I don't just glaze over the subject matter and no, you come check this channel out. You're going to be well educated on this process because I truly believe that the more you comprehend, the more confident you will be. And I'm here to remove any little inkling of doubt. You know, what did Jay Electronica say on that record with the bullets? He said, never let a seed of doubt deter you from your lofty aims. And so my goal is to constantly remove the seed of doubt surrounding the subject matter and topic of mind science, visualization, and what is popularly called the law of attraction. And listen, you got a lot of people who are into, I guess you call it spirituality. And it's just weird watching the landscape in the community, man, because people be talking about the law of attraction and they be in the spirituality, reading cards and doing all kind of stuff, and then try to talk down about the law of attraction. And I'm going to tell you why. Most people have tried it to whatever varying degree, right? But they've been doing it, they've been piecemealing it together. And two, they don't really have a solid foundation of how the brain works. So you know what happens? People try, some type of law of attraction technique for a week or two. And then if they don't get any feedback, oh, that don't work. That don't work. But you wouldn't do that. A mother wouldn't do that to a child in her womb. Just because the baby don't pop out in 2 months, don't mean that the baby ain't in there cooking up. But see, we got a hyper instant result, social type of orientated vibe going on. Like everything has to be, and people don't understand that ain't how it works. It ain't how it works. So a real coach or somebody who understands is going to tell you, no, you got to anchor the principle first. And really, to be honest, first what you got to do is you got to clean up any type of traumas that you may have had. And boy, oh boy, and if we talking specifically the Black community, African American community, coming from the ghettos, and who parents were learning while they were trying to be parents because they parents didn't have it figured out. So you got all of this chaos going on, right? Which is breeding a bunch of trauma, right? And people trying to wonder why they can't get their mind to be able to problem solve and produce or manifest what it is that they say that they want. Well, the structure that's allowing you to do such is damaged. That's a neurological fact. And you don't have to be physically hit in the head for it to shrink. That's another neurological fact. So you got all of this trauma, all of this chaos, and you think just because you 5 or 10 years, you done grown older, you in your 40s, you in your 30s, you in your 50s. Oh, that's behind me. But you never addressed it. You never addressed it. One, you didn't go to some type of therapy, and two, you probably for certain haven't done the internal work via these principles of self-realization to uplift the trauma. So it's just people just be talking. They really don't know. But anyways, I don't want to. That's sorry for the tangent. But I just got to speak it how I feel it as it comes to me at the time. But peace to everybody. I see you. Peace, Cheyenne. Peace. Trio Cast, Ashley, Shantae. Peace. I see y'all. So tonight, what we talking about? We talking about Elon Musk, right? So hold on. Let me see. Let me try to do this, Jew. Cause every time, I be kind of new to this thing. Let's see. So let's go to here. Just give me a second, y'all. Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay. All right. So can somebody give me some feedback in the chat and let me know if y'all can see my screen? I would highly appreciate it if somebody can give me some feedback really, really quickly if y'all can see my screen. Because it say, according to this thing, it say y'all can see me and my screen. But I can't really see that on my screen. So I never know until I get some feedback from y'all. All right. So cool. So let's get into it. So this was a tweet yesterday from Elon Musk, and we're going to start it out here. SpaceX launching satellite Doge 1 to the moon next year. And what does he have? mission paid for in Doge, first crypto in space, first meme in space, to the moon, right? To the moon, right? Now, if y'all been around me long enough, y'all know something. How long have I been asking people what's in a meme? Now, my members know the science behind this, right? But you see it all the time. And you see these memes, people make these memes, and certain things be manifesting from people making memes, right? And people be like, man, that's weird, or man, that's deep. Somebody make a meme 2-3 years ago, then all of a sudden the exact same replica in the physical world manifests, and people be like, wow, that's kind of weird, right? But there's a science to that, right? And so maybe I'll get into this whole moon thing later, but I just wanted to show you what gave me the inspiration to have this conversation this evening, right? And I gotta say shout out to my man Timmy, shout out to my man X, both of whom sent me some major jewels which are inside of this presentation today in relationship to the conversation that we have in the night. And so listen, man, I appreciate all of my members, all of my followers, man. I appreciate you guys for sending me this data. And it really makes me feel good because y'all entrusted in me, because y'all know I have the ability to be able to point out exactly what's going on. And so I appreciate that, man. I'm honored that people send me this stuff all the time. They're like, Jew, look at this. It'd be all in my inbox, Jew. And I'd be like, wow, you know what I mean? These people really, people are getting it. They're starting to catch on. And the more that they're catching on, the more these things start to pop up in their awareness, and they send it to me because they know I can touch on it at a deeper level than they may be able to at the time. But nonetheless, I appreciate everybody that's always sending me clips and videos and screenshots and links. And please keep doing that because it allows me to continue to teach this wisdom and science. A lot of times I have my head down in my membership trying to find ways to make it better. So some things I do miss, but thankfully I have the people's eyes, and we all operate as one, and I'm able to share it and give it back to you guys here. So I ain't got no time to waste, man. Let's just jump right into this thing. Let's go back to December 29, 2020, right? Look what Elon Musk tweets. He says, destiny, no escaping that for me. So Toby Lee comes down and he said he drops a bombshell, right? He says, speaking about destiny, did you know that Von Braun's 1953 book, Mars Project, referenced a person named Elon that would bring humans to Mars? Pretty nuts. Now, listen, we coming in swinging. I'm like Mike Tyson tonight. I'm trying to knock him out in the first round. I ain't got time to be playing. So, peace, Timmy, peace. Kingdom Consciousness. There it is. That's my man. He in the chat. Appreciate you, man. So right out the gate, this a haymaker. This a 19. Now listen, let me preface this, because some of y'all that's new here might be like, damn, that's a weird coincidence. Well, let me give y'all a few more. You ever heard of Pistol Pete Maravich? Very famous NBA icon, right? Pistol Pete. He made a quote talking about how he didn't want to die 14 years after he retired from a heart condition, and all of this while he didn't have a heart condition at the time, but he's quoted saying this in an interview. And do you know that the exact same thing happened to Pistol Pete 14 years after he died from a heart attack? The same exact words that he uttered out of his mouth in an interview is exactly how his quote-unquote destiny unfolded. Huh? Let me give you another one. And listen, I want people, man, sometimes, Jew, boy, it'd be tough to mention this guy's name, man, because people, they're gonna always fall back to their reset button, right? And so sometimes it'd be difficult to talk these principles, because people are, they sometimes you may think that they can be, you know, okay and understand, but then you be like, man, they just don't get it. But I'm gonna say it anyway. Donald Trump, yes, Donald Trump, your beloved Octavia Butler, a sister, sci-fi writer. She wrote about a dystopian future where a gentleman would be running for president who would use the term "Make America Great Again." She wrote this in a fictional novel. It was a magazine back in the early 90s that also wrote a fictional piece in their magazine about Donald Trump building a wall. And on the wall it had opioid epidemic. This was all the way in 1993. Why am I saying this? See, once you start to figure out the cause and the phenomenon of what's happening down here, you lose a lot of your judgment toward people, because you realize some people have been pinned into the exact position that they're in. There's a law of suggestion and magnetism that is far beyond the scope of the average person's comprehension on this planet. Because you think just because you're in California and somebody's way in New York, that it's no way that you can have an impact on somebody you don't know, you never met, and you just think that's impossible. But riddle me this: you got a phone in your hand that you can dial a certain code or a number, digits, and a signal can be shot with no wires, no physical wire, from here to New York, and you can have a conversation with that person. This thing is invisible. As it says in scripture, the almighty, the all-wise, the all-invisible God is a force that you cannot see, but it is impacting every single aspect of this reality down here. Huh? So here we got Toby Lee talking about a book from 1953, a Mars project, and Elon Musk is walking around here talking about putting people on Mars today. And the name of the person in the book was Elon. This is 53. Elon Musk wasn't even born yet. Huh? But we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it too. So let's watch this. So this was Elon Musk's response to Toby Lee. He says, "Are we sure this is real?" Let me tell you something, man. I ain't going to tell you that. So anyway, Elon Musk, he says, "Are we sure this is real?" Right? So look what this gentleman says. Pranay Pathol, if I'm pronouncing it right. He said, "Yeah, it's real. This is the English transcript of the same book. But Elon, referred by Von Braun in the book, isn't the name of the person, but rather the name of the position, something like an elected meritocratic president." So Elon is the title of the title that the person is holding that's initiating how Mars is going to be governed. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's no coincidences in this world. I done showed this 20 times, 20 different ways throughout my tenure of teaching. But until you take it serious enough, you'll just walk away saying, "Wow, that's deep." Never thinking for one moment that you can apply it to your personal life, as if these people are some way special and you're not. Christ consciousness is universal, and it's no respecter of persons. So now, This is Isaiah 48:3. See, this is exactly what happened. I foretold the former things long ago. My mouth announced them, and I made them known. Ain't that what Van Braun did back in 53? Then suddenly I acted, and they came to pass. Now you may read that and say, it's only predicated upon the person who's writing that they will be impacted and acted. No. No. Not only can it be for the person who's writing, the person who they're writing about, even in a fictional piece about colonizing Mars, you would then produce an Elon Musk many years later that for somehow, some way has this brilliant brain and finds out how to get spaceships on Mars. And the gentleman the fictional character or the position is Elon. No. I dare anybody, challenge me on this information. And you're going to get your feelings hurt. I promise you this. I promise you this. This is the supreme mathematics. This. See all this other stuff? Them games. They try, but I'm telling you what's supreme. Consciousness is supreme. And whoever knows how to utilize it the best and the most efficiently will be the victor. Huh? So now let's look at this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take y'all over to Egypt a little bit tonight. I just don't want to show y'all and run up out of here. Look, I want to give you some insights. So what you're looking at is the Egyptian Ogdode. Because I want to talk about this whole quantum thing, Jew. What the hell is going on, right? So in this Egyptian Ogdode, it's the precursor of a creation story that's talking about this primordial egg, right? This beginning of all beginnings, right? And so you got these pairs, of male, female, together in these pairs, right? That are doing what? Coming together to form what they call water, invisibility, infinity, and darkness. What is going on here in these, and listen, see, when you start to understand consciousness, you'll find out, although we are two different entities, male and female, we think different, our bodies are not the same, all of these differences that we may have with one another. There's one thing that binds us together, and that is consciousness. You know why? Because both of us have a conscious and a subconscious mind. One operates as the masculine principle, the other operates as the feminine principle. But yet, we both still have the capacity to tap into both of these expressions to create. So they're giving you this idea of it's a balance here. You need both in order for creation to spring forth. But so they're showing you they're giving you an expression or an idea or a concept of what exists in this quantum field. What is making up this quantum field? Right? But let's read. Because see, it ain't just there. And a lot of people say, oh, well, the Bible is a copycat from Egypt. Cool. I'm not here to argue that. Because you know why? That's just people jockeying for intellectual position. I don't give a goddamn about that. You know why? Because if I can show the principles on either side of the ledger and how it applies to the individual to get a result or a phenomenon to happen in their life, who cares? Who cares? That's child's play. And people around here checking bags off of that. And then you walk away and be like, oh yeah, they stole it. They stole it. Hey, but then, okay. Next. if they stole it and 80 to 90% of it is from there, then what are we really talking about here? What's the big deal? Right? But anyways, don't get me going on anyway. But let's just read this. Genesis 1:1-2. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, mind you, here's the creation story, one of many, right? Water, invisibility, infinity, darkness. And some translations say infinite to one of the couples. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now look at the language. Now this is the beginning. Now the earth was what? Formless, empty. Look at the keywords that are the same keywords as the Ogdo. Darkness, spirit, and waters. In other words, and listen, people are not reading these texts. They don't know what the hell they're reading anyway, Jude. They just going off what somebody said from 20 years ago, 10 years ago about what it is, what it say, da 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 da. And this, it ain't this, it ain't that. And ain't nobody doing their due diligence to study because you're taking people's word for it. I don't take nobody goddamn word for it. Nobody's. I'm going to read it myself. I'm going to find out what the translations mean. And then I'm going to get a clear picture of what was actually being communicated because I know it's a parable. I know it's an allegory. I'm not foolish enough to think a snake was crawling around talking to humans. I don't even understand how people still having this argument. Why? And then say, oh man, you still haven't got it. You're that smart to know, which is don't take a lot of intellect to know, right? And I'm talking about to the people who are arguing that it's false. I ain't talking about the sheep or the people who are being just led blindly by these pastors. I'm talking about to the people who think they so goddamn smart. If you done got to the point where you realize, okay, it's impossible for a man to sleep in the belly of a whale for 3 days. And I ain't never seen nobody split no river open and walk through no water. Now, if you think it took you a whole lot of common sense to get there, and then you don't go to the next level and say, well, wait a minute, you think people 2,000-3,000 years ago was just writing this for entertainment? It's got to be something else going on here. Right? Right? So now they got all of these same principles as the Ogdo. Why? Because they're trying to tell you this is the nature of things on this level of quanti that is forming all of the things that we see in the visible world. Right? But who did they say was with the Ogdo though in the Egyptian myth? Tahuti. Who got the crescent moon, but it's what? We going to the moon, with this Dogecoin, but I ain't gonna, listen, I'm like 50. I ain't gonna spell it out for you all the time, right? Because I don't know nobody else who will get together and do a galactic activation other than myself and Ampu and tell people to bounce images off the moon. We had people go out last year and look at the moon and howling at the moon. 2 weeks later, a phenomenon breaks out all over the world where people are out on their balconies howling at the moon all over the world as a show of unity because people couldn't go outside because of COVID. So listen, man, listen. This is the highest science on the planet. That's all I'm gonna say on that tip, right? But listen. So they say Tahuti was with the Ogdo, right? But Tahuti is what? Scribing, writing, magic, wisdom, So what Jigga tell you? So the pen is mightier than the sword, my lord. Right? But then you get these people who think they fully in they masculine, and they'll hear me say something like that, And they be like, man, what the hell is this cat talking about? Pen is mightier than the sword, or the pen is mightier than the gun. Well, listen, I don't take it no type of way because they ain't high priests. They not supposed to understand. They not supposed to understand. Right? And so you have to deal with that type of ignorance, right? When you're listening to people around certain people, they just don't know. But I'll write your ass up out of here. Right? And I mean that. Like you have no idea what's actually going on down here, man. And so when you see stuff like this, speaking about destiny, and this guy's writing it in this book 70 plus years ago, huh? And then all of a sudden, this guy named Elon comes out and he's leading the project to Mars. Huh? Huh? So this is what's happening, people. I'm going to take you to the first Psalms. Psalms 1:1-3. Let's read it all together. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Here's the most important part. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. So, you got a lot of people out here you try to tell a Christian about meditating, but meditation ain't in no Bible, it ain't in the Bible. But anyway, and in the law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of the water, that do what? Bringeth forth his fruit, in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. But they tell you to meditate on a word day and night. And then in the season, timing, right? So I know you got a lot of people out here that's familiar with the craft of astrology. And they'll tell you, oh man, your thoughts don't create, you can't do it. Because, I know, but they don't know the neuroscience either. They just stomp down in their ways about what they didn't study for 20, 30 years, which is cool, but it's some more science out here that if you really look, it will help corroborate and enhance your understanding of the craft of astrology. Right? But it tells you, meditate first, then in the season. So they're telling you that you have to conscientiously do something at the level of mind first. Then something will be sprout forth in a season. Huh? But let's look at the translation, Jew. Huh? Hagar is meditate in that verse, which means to murmur. But peep game. In pleasure or anger. Now I'm going to stop right there. So let me tell you something. Every time you're talking under your breath and you're having this internal dialogue about what ain't going right, the complications you're going through, you upset, you angry, you complaining, guess what you're doing? Guess what you're doing? You're meditating on that. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you something. Those meditations don't recede into the past. They march forward and wait for the season to manifest those thoughts and those feelings. So I always say this to people. People always think this law of attraction is, it's so, it's amazing and it's so awesome and it's, it's all of this and it's so great. But boy, let me tell you something. It's a double-edged sword. It's just as chaotic as it is positive, depending upon how you're utilizing the law. To ponder. But look. Another word for meditate is, you guessed it, to imagine. Oh, Jew is the imagination guru. And he's got us running around here doing these visualization exercises, and all these techniques, the wishing well and the butterfly effect and the golden aura, and and he's constantly studying and he's constantly speaking about it, and he's constantly talking about it, and he's constantly uttering these things. You're damn right. The word of God has become my meditation, and I've been sent down here to teach it just that way. Just that way. Just that way. So it's almost like, a murmur, almost like a whisper. But do you know what? Let me tell you something, man. Do you know whispering activates the reticular activating system, which starts to allow you to focus more on whatever your desired goal is? So if you look up the word like a soothsayer in scripture, one of the words that's there for the definition is a whisper. Also, slow hand motion and writing activate, listen to this carefully. When you write things on paper, it literally produces the same phenomenon as a person who is in a meditative state. So let me give y'all a super nugget tonight. Guess what? The universe you live in is meditating right now. All of these planets are uttering sounds. You're living in a orchestra of sound, of murmurs. You couldn't get out of meditation if you tried, even if you never sat down and practiced it. This is why when you don't conscientiously put your imprint on what it is that you want to experience, the meditation that is going on in and around you and spinning around you is going to facilitate whatever that frequency is into your life. This is why you must become the what? The driver of the car, but the manual driver. Take more control of the vessel. Huh? Now remember, what did I say? Let's go back. I foretold the former things long ago. My mouth announced them and I made them known. Then suddenly I acted and they came to pass. But now watch this. Remember I told you, it ain't just you. Other people can be impacted because obviously, listen, do y'all understand the mathematics in that? Somebody 70 years ago writes a book and pins Elon into a position where he's running the whole thing going to Mars. Now here comes Elon with SpaceX. He's going to the moon with the Dogecoin with memes. He's planning on putting people on Mars, building a whole colony and civilization on Mars, making this thing interdimensional travel from planet to planet. This is how big his mind is. And people are down here talking about bull crap. Huh? But watch this. So you got to ask yourself a question. If Elon's not born yet, how could it be the planet itself that's impacting Elon when he's not even born at the time that this gentleman pens the book is the question tonight? Huh? That's the question. Because we know it manifested. And I can show you this 20 other ways, just not with Elon. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. I promise you this. That's the question. Who's influencing what? All right. Well, let's read. I'm gonna show you how it ain't just how you can. The writing it's just not for you. It's impacting other folks. One of the most interesting results shared below is from a Princeton University study, which concluded that the brain of a person telling a story and the brain of a person listening to it can do what, Minister Jew? Synchronize. The paper describes the link between a storyteller and their audience as a speaker-listener neural coupling, which can be clearly seen in the images below. So don't tell me that you're not under the influence. Huh? See, and they say, the people would be deep. It's the gospel. It's a spell, brother. Yeah. All the stories are to hypnotize you. But see, what you don't know is when things are told in story form, we remember them better. But guess what the problem is? The whole Bible is told in an allegorical parable phenomenon, sprinkled in with a few real names of people who lived in order to give it a sense of, or tones of reality, right? Because if you talk about fishes flying in the sky and pigeons swimming in the ocean, you're definitely going to lose people if that's the conversation throughout the whole book. But if I can sprinkle in a King David here and a Nebuchadnezzar there and a da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, then I can get your attention as I relay these parables in these real fancy ways. Problem is, nobody has come up, well, I don't want to say nobody, there's been many people that come before Jew. But generally speaking, most people are not being taught to comprehend what they're reading in a way where it is parable and allegory to get the meat out of the damn crab leg. You got to crack the thing open and pull it out. But there's more. Scientists have also found that telling a story can plant emotions, thoughts, and ideas into the brain of the listener. Ooh. In studies at Princeton University, the brain activity of a woman telling a story and her listeners was monitored, and as she told her story, her listener's brain activity went into sync with hers. It's called suggestion. This means that writers have the ultimate power to influence others. And I'm going to go a step further, to create others. Huh? So you might say I'm crazy. Von Braun is Elon Musk's spiritual daddy. Yep, I said it. That's his pops. He wrote him into this screenplay down here. Huh? So let's go. Let's go. Because I want to show you this. I want to show you this too. Because this was sent to me by X. And after this, we're going to close out. I done done what I had to do. Right? So let me show you how powerful. Here's a surgeon, right? You owe me big time. Surgeon Penn's own obituary before his death at 48. Tom Flanagan wrote his own obituary that matched his hilarious approach to life. Now here's a surgeon, and he wrote this obituary was supposed to be comedy. Because he was trying to basically poke fun at anti-vaxxers, right? So he writes his own obituary out, and he thought it was funny. But boy, oh boy, you're gonna learn today. See, you cannot play. You can't play like that. You can't play like that. But see, now look at this. Here's a surgeon, Mr. Tom Flanagan, probably making hundreds of thousands of dollars as a surgeon. And here go little old Minister Jew down in the trenches with the people trying to get them up out the mud, right? And if I step to these people, they say, "Oh man, who is this guy?" Just like Jesus Christ. They asked the Christ, "Who is this guy? He doesn't have any letters. He never was taught." I identify with that state. It's like, man, Jew, you didn't go to seminary school, Jew. Have you been to school for this? No, but I've studied as many 100,000 hours that you would have to go to school to be able to be called a professional in your craft. I know that. I know what the hell I'm talking about. Right? So it goes to show you, status doesn't always mean that you're the brightest. Right? Because he obviously has no idea how consciousness works. But guess what? It's a law. Whether you listen, what did they tell you? What did they tell you? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Don't matter if you ignorant or not. If you activate it, You're going to reap what you sow, buddy. You're going to reap what you sow. Now, he goes around here, write out his own obituary, think he poking fun. And boy, oh boy, he breaks up out of this joint. And people trying to figure out, damn, he was healthy. But he died. Huh? But see, they tell you in scripture. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Oh, but they're doctors. So most of the time, they the Sadducees. Oh, don't come bringing them Bible verse. We don't believe in that. We believe in science, Minister Jew. But boy, it's a passage in scripture that really get down on science. But you're going to have to find it. I ain't going to give you anything. Find it. Search. Well, as it says, search the scriptures. Search them. Huh? Because what you're going to find out is they really one and the same. Let me say that again. Science and what you call spirit are one and the same. But let me show you how we do this. Look, let me show you how we do this. Let me show you how we do it around here. Show you how we do it around here. These people in my membership, man. Oh, and by the way, follow me on Instagram, man. So much wonderful content and awe-inspiring information over there. I'm sure you get a lot out of that page if you go over there and you really take your time and go through it, right? So this is over on my page, The Imagination Guru. That's where you can find me on Instagram if you're new to me, right? You come across this video later on YouTube, The Imagination Guru. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. So here's Mr. Capiche, because I'm going to show y'all. Because see, I ain't just talking. I teach people this for a living. Ain't that something? I teach people how to change their lives utilizing this information, right? So let's read. Those pictures are my bedroom wall, and I'm gonna show you where I printed pics of the Audi truck I wanted, and at the time had no idea how I would get the money or approval with the credit score I have to obtain it months ago. You can tell from how the pics are starting to bend on the corners. Laugh out loud. But anyway, I put the pics on the wall, did the visualizations, bought the keychain off Amazon a couple weeks ago, and yesterday I went to the dealership, took a folder full of documents to prove my income, address, etc. And as tedious as car dealerships tend to be, they didn't even look into the folder where the documents were at. Where the documents were at all. And they're the ones who told me to bring them. And then he puts the butterfly because that's from a class that we had called the butterfly effect, where he's utilizing these principles. Excuse my language, but he says, this shit literally feels like a dream. I have total control. So let's go. Let's look. So this is what he did. On the left, you see he got the Audi keychain. This is a technique that I call quantum field trips. You got to be in the membership to know how to utilize it. But I'm showing you the evidence. So he goes to get the Audi keychain. Then he does a Memphis Bleak. I go to sleep with a picture of a Porsche on my wall. Man, I'm trying to come up on y'all. Right? That's Memphis. I think that's Jay-Z Fish featuring Memphis Bleak. That might be on Reasonable Doubt when Bleak spinning them bars. But Mr. Capiche goes to sleep with a picture of an Audi on his wall. Right? And along with a couple other images. Right? Something that he's going to see every day. Yeah. Get that reticular activating system going. Yeah. Start activating the quantum field. Yeah. Realize the word of God is within you. Yeah. Yeah, I know. And so then this happens. Boop. Doo-doo. 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 Then the Audi pops up. He now owns the Audi. And in the same day he got the Audi, look what else happened. A deposit on 5/5/21 for how much, ladies and gentlemen? $14,895 was credited to your account via direct deposit. Listen, I could do this all night. I can show you testimonials all night. And I literally mean that. I'm not exaggerating when I say I can show this all night. But I ain't got to go through all that. I'm telling you. Join the membership. Click the links in the description box below. All my tabs where you can get in contact with me, services, products, is in the description box. I am here to help people. I got the juice. I got the force. It's with you. I know it is. I can't lose. I can only win. I can only win. That's the only thing in my mind. I can only win. So this is what we're doing. My next public webinar, I do these maybe every 60 to 90 days. It's called, and don't be like, man, he got white people on there. Is that Jeff Bezos? Is that Elon Musk? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The name of it is called You've Been Influenced. The Power of Influence on Manifestation. I'm going to show y'all something. And I got a new technique coming out. The new quantum jumping technique. Ooh, wait till I show y'all this in scripture. Ooh, you think quantum jumping is something new? No. No. But I'm going to show you the mechanics, the real mechanics. I'm going to show you the mechanics. Sunday, June 6th, 2021, next month at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Visit the website, theimaginationguru.com. Down in the description box below is the link for this presentation. And any and everybody that comes to it, you will get the new quantum jumping technique. You'll be able to walk away with something to practice. And watch what happens. Watch. Just sit back and watch. Like Trinidad James said, don't believe me, just watch. Right? So this is what we're doing. And before I go, I got to say this too. Because you got some people out here who try to convince you, and I just got to keep it a buck. They'll try to tell you, oh, white people aren't this, and black people are the only special people. Let me tell you something. Run far away from that dialogue. They trying to bait you in on the black thing, and I get it. But I'm going to tell you something. I just showed you some white people writing people right on into a script, writing themselves right out of a script. Let me tell you something. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Consciousness ain't got nothing to do with that. Nothing. That's elementary conversation. Elementary conversation. You want to know what the business is, start learning the mechanics of the mind. No matter what skin you in to activate this principle. And the proof is in the pudding. Just look around you. Run. Run. And I mean it. And go run and tell that. Tell them I said it. Run. Okay? So yeah, man. So the links is let me see. Hold them up. Let me see. All right. Can y'all see me? I'm back. Y'all can see me. I'm back. I hope so. Can y'all see I'm back on y'all? I don't know, because I couldn't see myself on the screen while I was doing the presentation. And if y'all could see me, y'all probably laughing, because I know I'll be making some faces when I get serious. But anyways, okay, cool. So yeah, man, look, this phenomenon is real. Very, very real. Very real. And all you got to do is dedicate yourself. That's it. Just dedicate yourself. Stop playing. Get serious. Invest in yourself. Thank you, everybody. I can see, appreciate it. Invest in yourself. I see all my members. I see y'all, Monica, T-Mac, Ashley. I see y'all, Ern. I see everybody. I see y'all. They here. They know. Ask them. Ask them and see if I'm bluffing. You should hear the stories on these calls. People having breakthroughs all the time. Sometimes people have breakthroughs. They don't even tell me for 2-3 months later. I'd be like, why? And it just be happening. I got a call today from one of the members. Man, Jew, when I signed up for the membership, as soon as I signed up, I got boosted right up to the highest position. And he's calling me today for a recap and a refresh so that he can get right back on track because he's trying to get to the next level. Look at T-Mac, just had one. Yo, hey, that's right. Hey, Laverne, peace. I see you out there. So listen, hit them links down in the description box, man. You've been influenced. That's next up. If you want to go back, you can download 12-Day Butterfly Effect. That's available too. Everything that I produce and create is timeless. Forever and forever. You know why? Because consciousness is infinite. It's eternal. It's always going to be the driving force. This can never get old. In fact, I just find more ways to refine it because I'm constantly excited. And so I'm always refining, and new information is coming, and I'm able to express it in different modalities to people. You see? So look, I appreciate everybody to come rock with me tonight. We right at about an hour. You know, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. If you feeling good, if I said anything that moved you, Cash App, you could make a donation. Cash App, Imagination Guru. That's the Cash App. If you're feeling generous, I appreciate you guys. Bakari, what's going on? Gratitude and blessings to you. Ricky Skills, he say he's still getting them checks. I know. It's the never-ending blessing. Right? And what you could say? The wind comes and I'm just the flute. So the spirit hit me and I just, right? So that's what it is, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Blessings to everybody. I hope this gave you a Kickstarter for your week. It's Monday. Let's get it going. Let's get it popping. Work hard, grind hard. Stay prayed up. Stay in your visual bag. Stay in your quantum field. And remember to tell somebody you love them. That's important too. And with that, I'm going to say peace.